Morgan.
And I'm Jake, and this is
Neverland
Neverland
Navigation
Navigation Radio,
Radio.
where we continue our journey on the Disney Wish. I wasn't there, to be clear. It was just Morgan, but
You're living vicariously through my experience.
yeah,
For now.
yeah. And I was also in your suitcase the whole time, so I got a perspective of the trip.
Well, it's important to learn all of the things you can learn before doing something like this because it's such a short cruise
Right.
that you you want to make sure you know everything so that you can take advantage of every minute.
Yeah, and I do want to take advantage of every minute when I get aboard my sailing because um, I'm the type of person who likes to maximize my vacation
Yeah.
time. You know what I mean? I want to make the most of the trip that I've planned, and I know that you feel the same way.
Yeah. Did
Did,
you know about the check-in process? Did we talk about that?
I feel like I asked you if you had a smooth check-in, and you said it was pretty smooth, but I don't think we got any further into
So
that.
you have to check in at midnight Eastern, 30 days before you're sailing. So
Interesting.
it's an ordeal. Um, and then when the time in which I was able to check in was the day on which I was able to check in was different than the day that my parents could check in because actually the 30 days thing is different depending on whether you're a silver member or you're not.
What
Or
is the 30 days thing?
so you get assigned a different day that you can check in depending on whether you're silver or whether you're not, and then you've got to go onto the app and hit check-in,
Mm,
and then at check-in you have to like put your all of your information, a picture of your passport or your birth
mm,
certificate
right.
and your ID, and then you've got to take a picture, so you've got to have all of this stuff done ahead of time if you're going to try to do it at midnight, or else you should try to do it like first thing when you wake up the next
What
morning.
is the advantage of doing it at midnight?
So they will start letting people on board around 11:30, um and if you if let's say you check in right at midnight and you're a gold member or you're a silver member, you'll probably get one of the slots to come onto the boat at like 11:30, maybe 12.
Right.
The later you are to check in, the later your time allowed on the boat is. So you could be not let on the boat until like 3 o'clock, and then
Mm.
you've missed 3 hours of activity time. Might not be a big deal to you if you're coming and going to Disney World first and not in a huge rush, but for me, I wanted to get in as soon as possible.
Yeah, I would feel the same way. Did you feel that you were checking? How did it work out for you this time? Were you able to get on?
This time we got on like an hour later than we would have if it were just my husband and child and I, because we're silver members.
Okay.
We had to wait until my parents were able to check in to check everybody in together. But I did it right at midnight, even though I had to have LASIK that day.
Whoa.
It's not always convenient. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
that's
the,
the LASIK
the
pregame. Just
one,
checking in for your cruise.
yeah. The one we're looking at taking at the beginning of next year that we're talking about taking,
Ooh.
I would have to check in on Christmas.
Whoa.
So it's a little crazy. But so I had to have
Excuse me.
Michael help me check in because I was visually disabled
Ah,
at the
right.
time. But it was fine, and our check-in wound up being like 12:30.
Nice.
So not too bad.
No, not too bad at all. Very good. Okay, a smooth check-in is good.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely. You climb aboard the boat. How was your experience walking into the Grand Hall? Was that what it is?
Yeah, it wasn't as on this boat, or maybe it was just our individual experience. There wasn't as much fanfare as there was on the other boats we've been on. So a cast member or crew member or whatever announces they ask you your name when you're walking up to the boat, your last name, and then they'll say like, this is let's welcome the Jones family, and then a couple of crew members are clapping. But the first couple we went on, there were like a bunch of cast members there clapping, and Mickey and Minnie were there in
Cool.
their outfits. But on this one, it wasn't. So I don't know if we just had bad timing or the grand hall is set up in a different, because the Grand Hall is set up in a different way than the atriums on the other boat,
Right.
that they have less opportunity for fanfare. But
Hmm.
I will say that that was something that was a little bit less impressive.
You missed it.
I did miss it.
I'm
I
sorry
missed
to
it
hear
for
it.
my parents. You know what I mean? Like after
Yeah,
you've done
you
it
want
once,
them to have
yeah, I
the
wanted
full
them to have the
experience.
exactly.
I'm
But
sorry.
but you walk in and it's beautiful.
Right.
Especially for somebody who hasn't been doing all the research and knows exactly what it's going to look like. That's the unfortunate part about being the travel planner in your family is you know what's coming. You're not getting surprised.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I don't really like surprises anyway.
Yeah, if I've known you, I know that you like to know a little bit of the detail of it ahead of time.
Yeah.
Which I can definitely understand. I think there's a lot of people who share in that same wanting to be prepared.
A lot of the planners in the families are you okay?
I don't know what's up with me.
A lot of the planners in the families are used to not being surprised and are okay with it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So last time we talked about dining and we talked about the Halloween on the high seas experiences. This time I think we're really especially going to go into entertainment.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
I'm the entertainment for today. You get to watch me die. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, I don't know what's up with me. But I will survive. I promise.
Okay.
I'm very excited to hear about entertainment, actually.
Yeah, the entertainment on this boat, just like the other boats, was like top notch. I think it's one of the things that I look forward to the most is the dinner and the show aspect of every day.
Totally.
This boat, so this will be spoilers if you don't want to know what shows are on it, but I think if you're listening to this, you probably do.
I do. I want to know.
The first one on night one was Seas the Adventure, but it was spelled like Seas, like SEAS.
What does that mean?
It's just it's a show. So on all of the boats, there's one show that has kind of like a story that integrates a whole bunch of different songs and characters from a whole bunch of different movies.
Oh.
So while you also will have
mashup show.
Yes. While you'll also have your Broadway caliber show, which features one story with one set of movie kind of characters. This one has a little bit of everything. And on some of the boats, it's the Golden Mickeys. And on some of them, it's Believe. And they all have a fun story. And the story for this one is that Captain Minnie is driving the boat. And then Goofy is like mopping the floor. And then he says how he used to want to be a captain. And Minnie says, oh, you could do it. And then lets him like take over for a little bit. Yeah. So, but while he's taking over, a bunch of magical stuff happens to like help him out.
Oh.
So then you see a bunch of different characters from a bunch of different movies. And some of them were characters that don't get enough attention, in my opinion. So like we saw Hercules at one point. And I was thrilled to see Hercules because that's one of my favorite Disney movies of all time.
Same.
Definitely my favorite Disney villain of all time, although this cameo or whatever was just Hercules singing Go the Distance.
Love it.
Yeah. Crush was there for a bit. Yeah, it was just a fun mashup, you know?
Yeah. How long is that?
I think it's an hour.
Nice. That's a good full length.
I think it's an hour. I think that they're all about an hour, even the Broadway ones. Like if you went and saw a Broadway show, what is that, 2-3 hours?
Yeah, about 2 or 3.
Okay. They condensed these for the boat to be an hour. So this one was an hour tops. It's a little bit more aimed at kids, you know what I mean?
Family Does that make friendly, sense?
Yeah. I mean, they all are, but because of the kind of goofy, no pun intended, nature of it.
You intended that pun. I know you did.
I did.
You're so goofy silly.
Because of that, like it gave it a little bit more of a kid vibe.
Right. That's fair.
Yeah. So that was that one.
It's good to have one. I feel like that's for the whole family because maybe they don't want to sit through full length, or they're all about an hour. So yeah. What do you think the reason is that they have one that's more like geared to families and one that's more
Broadway.
Yeah, cinematic. Is
Well,
it just to offer variety?
yeah, it's to offer variety, I think. You know
Hey,
what I mean? This mashup one gives them the opportunity to showcase songs from all kinds of different movies.
yeah,
I think that, like, for someone who hasn't seen all of the movies, like, my parents haven't seen every single, you know what I mean? It's a lot to keep up with
yeah,
these days.
it
So,
is.
like, there was a song from Frozen 2, which they hadn't seen yet.
Mm,
There was a song from Brave, which I do think they saw, but probably just the once back when it came
I
out.
think I've seen Brave once.
Yeah, right. But you've heard the song a lot. I don't know.
Touch the Sky.
Yeah, I don't know why we hear the song a lot, but we do.
It's a good
I mean,
song.
it's in the fireworks shows, huh?
It's in Happily Ever After.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
I think that is a great song, though.
Yeah,
So, like, I never mind to hear it.
yeah, yeah. I don't either. I don't either. I'm just saying, if I guess what I'm saying is, it's not like in these mashup shows. They're like, let's do our 10 number one hits.
Let It Go. We Don't Talk About Bruno.
Exactly.
Circle of Life.
Exactly. None of those songs were in this.
Wow.
So it's kind of cool. You know what I mean? But then on the other hand, if you haven't seen every single movie, then it might be a little less cool.
Yeah, I see what you mean. But honestly, the kids, if you're a parent with a young child in the moment, you probably have seen
Right.
the latest Disney stuff.
Yes, exactly.
And your kids love it.
Right.
So, like, to me, it makes sense.
Well, yeah, and I think it makes sense for them to kind of keep up with the newer stuff.
Right.
Although Brave isn't even newer, it's just
more
not
recent.
as showcased in parks and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's very true.
And Hercules, same.
Especially
Neither of those have a ride or a restaurant or anything.
Although they should.
Yeah.
And now Merida's being evicted from the Magic Kingdom meet and greet space.
Right? For Encanto.
For Mirabelle.
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
easy come, easy go, Merida. One day you're in, next day you're on the street.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that.
You can still see her in the parade. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. I mean, would it make sense for her to show up somewhere in Epcot? Maybe there's not, a specific spot that makes all the sense.
Yeah. I feel like Magic Kingdom is a good spot for her.
Yeah?
Yeah, I liked her meet and greet. I thought that was cute over there.
Yeah.
She had a nice setup.
I like that the meet and greet didn't take place of anything that used to be there.
Yeah, that's really nice. Princess Fairy Tale Hall, is that what it's called?
I don't know.
Y'all. Ugh.
Anyway.
There used to be a ride in there.
There used to be a ride in there. So true. So the other two Broadway shows, there's two other Broadway type shows. One of them was Aladdin.
Right.
Which was really, really good.
Nice.
Yeah. And then the other was Little Mermaid, which was also good. And they had to make some changes to make it
I have so many questions. Okay, Aladdin. How did they do the genie?
He was wearing, like, he was like painted in blue. I think he was probably wearing a blue like bodysuit. But then painted hands and head and stuff like that.
Did they try to make him look like the Robin Williams one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and cool. He was very funny, but in a different way than Robin Williams. Yeah, I think they did a good job.
Nice.
They took out Abu entirely.
They do that on the Broadway one too.
Yeah?
Yeah, they replaced him with friends.
Okay.
Babcock.
No, they didn't do that on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they took
just no friend.
But Genie did make a joke about Abu not being in it at one point, which was fun.
Oh, not even. I feel like a little Abu puppet, even just for a moment.
That's what cute. I think too. Like,
did they do Prince Ali?
Yes, the song.
Yeah. During the monkey part, they could have just had him come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The show was great. It was funny.
Did the carpet fly?
No, it was a person.
What?
Well, okay. So carpet was played by a person in a like carpet outfit that when their arms and legs were extended, it was like a carpet.
Yeah.
But when they did the scene for the song where they're riding on the carpet, that was like a physical piece of equipment where they were sitting on something, and then there was like a screen behind them that made it, and in front of them that made it look like they were flying.
Sure. Yeah.
No longer the person. They weren't sitting on the person.
Right, but were they sitting on a carpet?
They were sitting on something that
So they
looked like
made
a
it
carpet.
look like it was
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It looked kind of like if you were sitting in like a simulation of a
Mm.
carpet where screens are moving around you and you're actually sitting on a carpet that's probably made out of plastic or something.
Soaring over Agrabah.
For real.
Right. I mean, hey, that sounds cool.
I'd rather have Soarin' over Agrabah than another Dumbo. Now that you mention it.
Oh, yeah. I would be down with them clearing out the middle of Adventureland
Yeah, I
and
know.
making that open. That would be lovely because the traffic in there is so bad.
I know, but what are they can't just leave it empty.
Put a little stand in there, a little shop in there or something. That's fine. But I feel like a whole flat ride in there, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Especially when you think and look back at pictures of when the park opened and realize that it was so sparse in there, it was so open.
Mhm.
Um, and if you have that perspective when you're in there and you're jammed into all the traffic, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we've done this.
Jammed into the traffic and trying to avoid camel spit.
Yeah, you got a lot coming at you in Adventureland. Also, the sun is hotter over there for some reason, it feels like.
You're crazy.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
I don't know why, but in
He's got
Adventureland.
opinions about different areas of Disney being hotter than other areas of Disney, and
Well, first of all, I'm
I find it
always
so
hot.
unscientific.
Yeah, well, it's not. I'm not a scientist. I'm a podcaster. So here I go talking about my experience.
Okay.
When I'm in the Adventureland portion of the park,
You're
I don't know
hotter.
what it is. Maybe it's psychological.
It's psychological because you're in the desert.
Right, it's meant to represent desert
Hey, good
environments.
job, Imagineers.
Yeah, wow, I'm having such a good time sweating.
I know, but you're in the desert. You're supposed to be sweating.
And I don't want a camel to spit on me, so their
That would
attempts to
cool you
cool me
down.
off aren't working. Yeah.
They do have misters over there, but they also spurt out water.
Misters, missuses.
Oh, the misters that we're always talking about, they should add everywhere.
Yeah. They really should. You should be flying through mist on the carpet ride. Why
Yeah,
not?
that would be awesome.
I'd ride it, sure.
Yeah.
Just constantly be misting me in the tiki room, constantly mist me in the jungle cruise. Now that one would make sense.
It would
Mist
make
the
sense.
whole time, please.
Yeah. Yeah, it would make sense.
That'd be lovely.
At some point this might happen.
That would be great. It'd be better than when I was a kid at Universal Studios. We would ride Jaws the ride,
Yeah.
and that one is just fire for like 5 minutes. So you leave so hot. It would
See, look, hey, that one scientifically makes sense why it's hotter in that part of the park.
Yes, fire hot, Jake. Yeah.
Anyway, so
are we gonna go back on board the boat now?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
go. Let's go. It's cooler there.
I've got my
scientifically.
passport. Okay.
Because of the breeze. And most of the time we stay indoors. I kept telling my parents, because this was their first Disney cruise, make sure you bring a jacket. Like, you think, oh, cruise, hot, we're gonna be indoors 80-90% of the time.
A lot of people spend a lot of time on the pool deck, though.
Yeah, but I don't. We did,
Yeah.
we did, because they have an awesome slide.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
which one is that? Aqua
Mouse.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So there's Aqua Duck,
Yeah.
Aqua Dunk, and Aqua Mouse.
Yes, and the Aqua Mouse on the Wish has screens when you're going through
Ooh.
half of it that are like telling you a story.
That's as good as a ride at Epcot sometimes.
It sounded so awesome to me, and I'm not saying it wasn't awesome, but like I was so excited for the screens and the show. But then I found out at the very first screen that you get to that the screen also squirts water at you. And I was like,
water from a screen.
I can't even look at the and then you're going by a bunch of different screens and they all squirt water at you in some different way. And I'm like, I can't even look at the screen because I'm like closing one eye and blocking myself to not get squirted in the face by water.
That's what I look like in the cannonball section of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like
I hope you
myself.
didn't want me to see anything here.
Yeah, it's a good thing it's dark in here.
Yeah, so that's that. Nope, I'll just finish on that real quick. So the Aqua Mouse is worth doing, even if you don't like water slides because you don't like being in cold water, which it is cold water. Well, I mean, it's probably heated like the rest of the water to a certain temperature, but when you're going from dry and warm, anything's gonna feel cold when you're like just getting splashed by it.
That's a scientific fact.
That is. You're 2 people onto a tube, and you're on like a conveyor belt going up, and you're watching these screens that squirt water at you.
Terrifying screens that are
And
so
they're
weird.
telling a story. It's the new style of Disney cartoons, which I hate with a burning
Oh, the
passion.
new Mickey Mouse
It
cartoon.
reminds me of Ren and Stimpy
Hmm.
from back in the day. Um,
I think it has its merits, but I'm never gonna sit
I,
down and watch it.
yeah, I don't like it. I have watched it because research purposes, and then on this slide.
Yeah,
And I don't like it. I don't like the gross humor kind of thing that they're going for. Personally, it's not my classic Disney characters.
I prefer net humor to gross humor.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Anyway, so you're going up this conveyor belt and watching this story unfold, and then you go through a slide. Like first, you're like it's dark and inside, and then you're like the you move to the part of the slide that you're still in a tube, but it's clearer,
Hmm.
and yeah, it's fun.
That
It's like
sounds fun.
called a water coaster, I think.
I'm down to get on a water coaster.
Yeah, but you get pretty severely like splashed with cold water a bunch of times.
Ah, live a little.
Yeah, well, I did.
I
I
can
went on
do.
it twice.
Nice.
Yeah,
I would definitely at least want to try it once
yeah.
just to get the
You have
experience.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a signature element of the ship, I
Yeah,
feel.
I do too. I do too. We felt like it was a must do. If this is something that you want to do and you don't want to like wait in line for a long time, then
Hmm.
doing it on a day that you're in port somewhere, if you either get off and then get back on early, or you do it before getting off, or you just don't get off at all, this is the
Right.
best time to do it. We did not wait in line at all.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Um
Enhances the experience for sure.
yeah, yeah,
To not have to
absolutely.
wait in a
It was
big
one of
long
those
line.
situations where when we got to the end, he was like, "Do you want to go again?" Because there's no line.
Woo!
God, remember when that used to happen in Disney World?
Every time I rode the People Mover,
Every time when we were
we give
younger.
them the, can I
Yeah,
do a one more
yeah. Oh
hand
my
signal?
gosh, I
They'd give you the
loved
thumbs
that.
up or the thumbs down. Most of the time, we got a thumbs up because nobody was on the People Mover.
Yeah, yeah. That. Oh my gosh, those were the days.
I wish we could take you back in time with us,
Yeah,
everyone.
I'm sure a lot of our listeners have had that experience as
Oh,
well.
totally. It's only pretty within
It
the
is
last
pretty
5,
recently.
6, whatever years
Yeah, yeah,
that it's gotten to be everyone's favorite girl.
yeah.
But she used to be ours.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, so that the Aqua Mouse is a good experience, definitely worth trying. Back to the Broadway shows.
Oh, talk to me about the Little Mermaid.
Yeah, what do you want to know?
Oh, well, first of all, I want to know about the puppetry situation. In terms of like, are all of the fish puppets? Are they people in fish costumes? How are we creating
They're
fish in this show?
they're the puppets with the person like in
Oh,
Frozen and Beauty and the Beast. You know what I mean?
or Finding Nemo the
Yes,
musical,
yes,
where there you can see the person and the puppet.
yes, yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay,
That.
cool. A lot of people find that to be a very challenging method of
Mm,
ingesting
for
theater.
me as well. I have a hard time not looking at the person, which
Hmm.
you told me when I said that last time. You're like, well, that's okay. That can be something you
They're
do.
usually acting too.
Yeah, they are, and they're
Yeah.
dressed in a. It's not like they're trying to not be there.
Right. It's just an artistic,
Yeah,
extension of the character.
right.
Right.
So that was a
And who's
thing.
done like the Sebastian Flounder?
Sebastian, Flounder,
Oh, that's cool. I don't think
Flotsam
I've
and Jetsam, I guess, were
Wow.
technically puppets.
I don't think I've ever seen a Little Mermaid like that, so I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen people in costume,
Hmm.
do the thing. But I think the puppetry is a really cool aspect of it. How was the set? What was it like?
It was good. They started
Projections and stuff, or just kind of
projections were a big part of it, but they also had
nice?
physical set. So
Awesome.
it was a combination for both of those shows.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's kind of their go-to nowadays is to
Hmm.
mix media, projection, and
Yeah.
physical, which is smart because you get a lot of bang for your buck out of your physical stuff if you can add a layer of projection or use projection for certain story beats. I think that's a really fun and interesting thing that they do.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, they use in Aladdin a projection set for the whole new world
Right.
sequence. Like I'm assuming clouds and the Agrabah skyline.
Yeah, and that part where you're like kind of in Agrabah.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Cool. I love that.
And the projection wasn't just behind them. They also had stuff it projected in front of them.
On a
which-
scrim, like on a screen. Like a
No, it was like on I think it was more like set pieces that got projected on.
that's cool.
And then in Little Mermaid particularly, they had somebody, and I can't remember if this happened in Aladdin, but they had two people come out and like hold like a half screen at the bottom to do the water. You know how they do that?
Yeah,
We did that in,
I have
yeah.
directed a drama. Oh, woo, I have directed a children's theater show where we did that. Very classic storytelling.
Yes.
I like that a lot. I think that's fun.
Yeah,
I
I
think
was
it's fun for the
surprised to see
audience.
it. I was surprised to see
Really?
it. Well, just because I only had experience with it in kids theater, it seemed kiddish to me,
Mm,
but it did work. So if
yeah,
it works, it works. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. It's. I think projections in like children's theater and local theater, it's very much still in its infancy, you know what
Mhm.
I mean? Like it's not used in all productions even. So it's cool to see the different interpretations. And I think when you're talking about like Broadway caliber shows, projections have gotten so entwined with the set in a really professional way that it can be really impressive. So I would be looking out as a theater nerd. I
Yeah.
would be looking out for that kind of stuff to be like, ooh, I wonder what they used to make this happen.
Yeah.
That kind of adds a little level of magic to me to see like the creative minds that choose what media gets used to represent what part of each scene. How was your singing and dancing?
It was really good. The vocals were really good in both of those shows. I think probably a thing that was difficult for them, which you can imagine,
Hmm.
is the costuming on the mermaids when they're mermaids.
Ah,
They had like a dress where they would hold the end of the dress, so it the them holding the end of the dress is supposed to make it look kind of like reminiscent of a fin or
yeah,
whatever,
fishtail.
fishtail. Um, at first, it was a little confusing.
Right.
But
Hard
of
to
course,
represent.
what are you gonna do? I
Were
didn't
they
even
on
think
roller
about that.
skates?
No.
Just walking around?
Hmm.
Interesting. I've never seen that.
Yeah. So it was interesting. I actually think that I liked the Aladdin one better. They did change the story a little bit in Little Mermaid, and of course, they took out some stuff like the Sebastian and the chef. You know,
Oh, Le Poisson.
Le
They're
Poisson.
always trying to cut Le
They
Poisson, and
are. I know.
every
I
time they
love
do the
the
Little
song.
Mermaid, they try to cut Le Poisson.
Yes, I love that song. It was not there.
Bummer. On when they did the ABC live concert pretty recently, they had John Stamos do Le
I know.
Poisson,
I know. I liked
Justice
it.
for Le Poisson. That was awesome.
Yeah, yeah, that was awesome. But yeah, so at the end, it's not Eric that saves them; it's Ariel. But
Interesting.
again, with that scene, the scene in the movie, Eric like dives into the water and stabs Ursula.
Very dramatic.
Not possible. You know what I mean? Like that.
Mhm.
It's not. I guess not possible. They did a whole bunch of stuff that you would have thought was not possible on stage, but they had her be the one that saved the day.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah, so it was a good show. Both of them were good. It's crazy because I'm a 90s kid, so Little Mermaid, which was 80s, but I'm an
Just
80s kid
barely.
too, I
Yeah.
guess. Little Mermaid and Aladdin are really, really like my bread and butter for Disney, you know what I mean? But these were not my two favorite shows if I'm ranking shows on all of the boats that I've seen. Isn't that wild?
What are you compare? Like, which ones have you seen that like blew you away?
Tangled.
Yeah, I actually have
Oh
seen the Tangled one on YouTube.
my God.
It's really good.
It's so good.
The movie Tangled, I really like the character of Rapunzel,
Yeah.
but the actual movie Tangled never like really
Wrapped your
did
heart up,
everything
really?
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the music in it a lot. And I think maybe that is the reason why I enjoyed watching the cruise line production of it so much.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they do a really good job staging all of the beautiful music
Oh,
in
it
there.
was amazing. And then my second favorite one, do you want me to do this or no?
Sure,
I know
yeah.
at one point you want to do a ranking the stuff.
Yeah, and this is just loose. You'll have a full
This will
list
be a
and stuff.
preview.
Yeah, oh, nice.
So my second favorite one was Frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
would say Aladdin came in above Beauty and the Beast though. Which again,
Nice.
90s. It maybe that's the problem for me. Maybe the
Mm.
problem is I've seen these 90s and 89 movie 100 times or more
Right.
each, and so like having it messed with a
Right.
little is like messing with my brain. Where Tangled and Frozen came out later. I
Right.
don't When did Tangled come out?
In the 2000s,
Yeah.
2006 or
So when
2000.
I'm an adult, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
I'm
maybe
not
you're
as
more open to
yeah,
them being
yeah.
interpreted, you know?
Maybe that's it.
Yeah,
Maybe they
maybe.
were just done better. I don't know. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you're certainly entitled to your opinion either way. I would
Well,
definitely
thanks.
like to see. I would definitely like to see um, those productions because I haven't seen. I've seen Tangled and I've seen Frozen, but I think I tried to watch a little of the Beauty and the Beast one, but I didn't get very far.
Yeah, and
Not my favorite.
the a thing that I found that bums me out,
Hmm.
and I don't know if other Disney Cruise Line guests that go like that are hardcore about this feel the same way, but I started looking at the last boat we haven't been on, which is the Fantasy. So we've
Yes.
been on all four of the other boats, and I looked at the shows that are going to be on there, and I've already seen all of them.
What are they?
Um, oh, you're
Oh,
gonna
sorry, I don't mean
I
to
think it's
quiz you.
Aladdin. I think it's Frozen,
Ah,
and then I can't remember what the mashup one is, but it
mm,
might be Believe. It's something I've already seen.
okay, got it.
So
Well, watch the Frozen one again
I
because you
know,
like
no, I
it.
would watch all three again because that's what you're paying for. But I'm paying to see something I've already seen,
Yeah.
and it's a little bit of a bummer because it's not like It's not like they don't have more material.
Well, did you see that they announced for the new boat they're gonna put Moana on
I
it
did
as the
not.
show?
No.
They're
Oh my
gonna
god.
put Moana on
Okay,
there.
but the new boat is starting off with 7 night cruises.
Wow.
If you didn't know,
Wow.
so what else? Did they just say
I
Moana?
think that's the only one they've announced. So
S
maybe they'll announce more. I
They'll
don't
have
know.
to. But unfortunately, it
Or
could
they'll
be
just
a
repeat.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because with the Wish is only doing 3 and 4 night sailings, and
Hmm.
they have 2 Broadway shows,
Right.
so that's a lot.
Yeah.
For a seven
Get your
night, you
money's
need
worth.
at least that much.
Oh, definitely more. I think definitely more.
I would imagine so, but I don't know
Yeah.
if they'll do that. We'll see. When
Maybe they'll do a few
the
like
fantasy
lower production
Well, the
shows. You
fantasy
know.
one we're going on has just those two and the one.
Mm.
But it's 7 night.
Wow. Maybe that's just what they roll with then.
Yeah, and then
Ooh.
then one night you get Pirates Night,
I
which
wish we
that's
got a
another
couple more
show.
shows. Yeah.
But I Pirates Night is something you can do on all of the boats.
Hmm.
It involves the fireworks, which
You're a pirate pro
is
at this point.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the show for this, The Wish, was different than the show on the
Ooh.
other. Yeah,
Does it incorporate the films? The Pirates of the
kind
Caribbean
of like
films?
Jack Sparrow shows up for like
Mm.
30 seconds.
As a person? Or
Yeah.
as. Oh!
Yeah.
Oh,
I
somebody's job to
mean,
be Jack Sparrow. Nice.
yeah. Oh, yeah, and he was on Castaway Key or K
Cool.
too, like which was fun
That's nice.
as a character meet and greet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow, that's cute.
yeah. So for
That's
this
the
one,
correct amount of involvement with that franchise, I think.
yeah.
It's just Jack Sparrow pops up every now and then. I like it. I think that's
Well,
perfect.
I feel like they needed more of a story on this one for Pirate Night because
Ah,
we had one show that was the pirate show, like that was kind of aimed for little kids, where cast or entertainment cast members that are dressed as like pirates or like dancing around and stuff like that, and then the characters like Mickey and Minnie and whatnot are dressed up, and yeah, and so kind of a little kid show.
right.
Then we went to dinner. Then we came back for the fireworks show. And before that, on this one, they had like, I think it was called like a rockin' parlay party or something like that.
Cool.
And it was cast members dressed or entertainment cast members, let me specify, dressed as pirates that were singing songs from like the 80s and 90s, not necessarily pirate themed at all.
Interesting. Wait, songs from the 80s and 90s like Come Sail Away? Or songs from the 80s and 90s that just had nothing to do with
Kind
being
of rock,
nautical?
not nautical. There might have been one or two that were kind of
That's
nautical,
so
but
weird.
we actually had a conversation on the boat, like when this was happening. We were like, this isn't themed,
Doesn't make
like
any sense.
except for that it's like rock, and that's what maybe a pirate would be into.
Not enough.
I could have
nautical themed rock
I
songs.
could have lived without this. This was like a it seemed like
Play Crack the Sky. Play. There's so many. Even like I see. I recently went. I can't believe I've talked about this twice on the podcast. Recently saw a pirate dinner
oh
show.
yeah, wow, you're really promoting this pirate dinner show.
No, I'm not. Um, I would not recommend
Just
this
leave
pirate.
it.
No, I'm getting my phone, fishing it out like a pirate from the sea.
Yeah, all right.
The so I made a pirate playlist to get us, for the
Pumped
car
up for
ride
your
there. Yeah,
pirate dinner show.
it was a pirate pregame playlist, and
I'm gonna start expecting playlists from you all the time now. So for
oh,
later today, I want my Animal Kingdom playlist.
okay. Well, I have no. We're going right after this, so I have no time to make a playlist. But
That's
okay.
okay. You can do it.
All right. But so I know for a fact that there are pirate songs from the 80s and 90s that they could have sang because I just put a bunch of them on playlists.
Okay, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, and I'm not saying
Get the rights.
I'm not saying they all weren't, maybe, but there were some that definitely weren't. And it was like we were being entertained while we were waiting for something. It was like a waiting show, not like a show. Which,
They used to do a lot of that at Disney World.
yeah,
Back in the day, if you were waiting for the Beauty and the Beast show at MGM, Hollywood Studios, they would just bring out like an a cappella group or something just to keep you entertained a little bit.
That is exactly what this felt like. And we had to wait for a hot minute, and that was with not a great placement. If I would have gotten there earlier to get a better placement, we would have waited even longer. And I'm talking about, like, we were there, I think, 45 minutes.
Ugh.
It was disappointing. The fireworks were amazing.
Cool.
The show, that like pre-show, no.
Well,
especially with some of the other shows I've seen on Disney cruises. Like when they did fireworks for Marvel Day at Sea, it was so intricate, and there's like a zip line thing, and you've got a superhero zip lining, over the top.
Cool.
And there's a whole story about that led up to why these fireworks are being set off. You know what I mean?
Of course.
And this, they're like, let's play some 80s and 90s music and then set off some fireworks.
Unfortunately, I feel like that kind of thing happens at theme parks that are not Disney World pretty often.
Yeah.
That's not a good vibe.
Wild for the newest boat.
Yeah.
Because we felt like on the other ships that there were like better pre-shows. I'm not saying they were amazing.
Yeah.
But like there was actually kind of like comedy involved in the one that we saw on the last boat we went on.
So you have a high bar for pre-shows.
I do have a high bar for it.
How are the fireworks?
They're good. They're really good.
They're good?
Yeah, they're like kind of what you'd expect at the park, but they're like so close because you're on a smaller boat. The issue I have is that they keep making bigger boats and can hold more people, but they're continuing to do one fireworks show where they want like all 3,000 people up watching this show in the same space. It's so crowded. You've got to get there so early, and then your entertainment is only subpar. And that's for me as an adult. I can't imagine, like, if you've got toddlers or even
tiaras.
Little kids, they're not gonna be that into these 80s and 90s rock hits.
That's for
these
you.
Angsty pirates are playing. So
it's not a phase.
I don't know. They've got to figure something out.
It does seem like an uncomfortable experience. Did you take a drink with you at least? Like something to keep you refreshed? That's what I would do.
I don't think so.
I gotta have a treat to make it worth it.
The soda machine is up there on the pool deck. So I bet even if we had tried, the lines for that would have been insane.
And you gotta elbow your way through
They do really need to have more than one. Well, they have one on each side of the pool deck, but it would be really, really nice if they had a soda machine somewhere else on the boat.
Yeah, that makes sense. More soda machines,
or
more
even
fireworks,
or even a water, like even a water tea, something, like if they don't want to give away soda all over the place. There's nowhere else to get water, really.
Really?
Yeah.
Jump overboard.
You're ridiculous.
Don't do that. Enjoy the fireworks and stuff.
Yeah, and I just think that they need to do two fireworks shows so that like they can have split it like they do everything else.
Yeah.
When you go to see Aladdin or you go to see The Little Mermaid, it's half the boat seeing it at once and then half the boat seeing it at another time, and then it's swapped with your dinner reservation.
Right.
This is the only thing really, other than the trick or treat thing, was the same situation where they had everybody trying to do it at the same time. Not cool.
Yeah, seems crowded.
Yeah. But overall, I will say the entertainment was fantastic.
Good.
A few other little things that we did was we did a lot of trivia.
Nice.
The trivia was super fun. The only one I have a complaint about is that there is like a bar area in the middle called the Bayou, which is Tiana themed.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really room for that. I might have talked about that.
I think we talked about this a little bit.
Yeah, and then we did Jack Jack's Diaper Dash.
What is that?
So that's baby racing, which is like.
Pardon me.
Yeah, they only crawling babies. You can take them to this place and sign them up for this race, and they race crawling babies. And it's
what's the prize?
I don't even know. Like, I don't even know. I don't know. Everybody's watching and cheering. I know that there is some sort of prize, but it's not like phenomenal.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I know everybody got like a
And I'm sorry.
bib.
When you say that you did this, what do you mean?
We watched.
Oh, okay.
I entered. They wouldn't take me though.
Which member of your family did that?
Okay. Yeah, it's something that you go to watch, and it's like the cutest thing ever. So these babies are.
Did your bet win?
I don't think so.
Oh no.
No, and this particular one was less eventful than some of the other ones I've been to.
Lame babies.
No, like just one really good baby.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dominant baby.
If a baby goes from the start line to the finish line right away, race over. You know what I mean? No drama.
Apollo Ono of babies.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you kind of want the drama.
Yeah, you want,
because they're so cute. They'll stop and sit down. They don't know what you want them to do, so they're like looking around, like, why is everybody clapping for me and yelling at me and stuff like that? I can imagine it's a high stress situation, but it's very, very cute.
Yeah, it can't be that high stress. They're on a cruise; they'll be fine.
Yeah,
it'll be all right. Look at the dolphins. I don't know that I would want to do that.
Watch it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so cute.
Baby racing.
Yeah, I don't think it's for everybody.
I want to see the pirates race.
Okay.
Who can get from one end to the boat to the other the fastest?
Okay.
Baby race. I see the appeal of it being very cute. It sounds like if you have a baby, that's probably a pretty like memorable way to.
It's kind of like the dog races and stuff like that. How
dare you?
Why?
The babies are like dogs now, Morgan.
Yeah. Well, they're super, super cute. They don't know what you're asking. I'm not talking about greyhound racing.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about like puppy, like trying to get a puppy to do what you're asking it to do.
I thought you were talking about like professional track racing.
No. Oh my gosh, he doesn't get this. You guys that get this, get me.
I don't have a baby. I have a dog.
Okay.
Yeah, she's not really the racing type, though.
Well, that's why it would be perfect for her.
Oh, great.
That's what you want.
Okay. I'll enter her.
I'm going to show him a video later. Maybe he'll get it.
Okay.
But anyway, super cute. Let's see. I think that wraps it up for the entertainment. I already talked about the Halloween entertainment on the last one. We didn't do any of the craft stuff, but they do like craft stuff too.
Like arts and crafts?
Yeah.
Cool.
And then there's like live music all over, which is just a lovely thing to just walk by. Even if you don't want to take the time to sit there and have a drink and listen to somebody playing the piano, it's nice that it's there. Yeah. It's like a wonderful ambiance thing to be there.
Is that what it mostly is like someone with a piano? Or...
Yes. Or somebody with a violin or somebody, you know what I mean? Or there are times where you could go see like a 3-piece little band playing some stuff.
That's lovely.
And it might be Disney and it might not be. At one point we were in line for something and heard that they were doing Beatles cover like on the piano and stuff.
Cute.
Yeah, it was cute. It was cute.
I like it.
Yeah,
I
and
think I would be
that's
delighted to happen upon that.
it is. It's delightful because it's just kind of like you stumble upon it everywhere, unless you're looking for it, and then that's great too.
Yeah.
If that's your thing.
I like unexpected entertainment. That
Yeah.
honestly was one of my favorite parts about Disney parks was that every time you rounded a corner, it seemed like you were
Yes.
stumbling upon someone doing some type of routine or performance or something.
Yes.
And that's lovely because even, planning stuff is fun
Uh huh.
and lovely, but like what happens along the way can be
Right.
even more memorable
Right.
sometimes.
Right.
So I like that they're carrying that mentality onto the cruise ship to
Yeah.
give you some moments of like unexpected happiness.
Yeah, and on not on this past trip because this one was so short, but like on previous ones, we would hear somebody playing and then be like, "Oh, this person's awesome. We want to look and see when else they're playing
Oh, you
and
can
come
do
back."
that?
Yeah, yeah, because
Cool.
it lists like when and where they'll be on the ship, and they're there, regularly somewhere
You
doing
can have a
something.
favorite.
You can have a favorite. Yeah,
That's amazing. I
yeah,
love that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So
So
so when it comes to the Disney Wish, out of 10 cruise ships, what would you rate your
if
experience?
he did not prepare me for this.
No, it's
So,
just a
am I basing it as a comparison to the other Disney cruise ships or to other cruise ships in general
I would
or
say
other vacations in general? This is
as this is a Disney podcast, I would say it would only be fair to compare it to its fellow Disney vessels
okay, out of 10.
out of 10 cruise
With
ships.
10 being the best one that I
Amazing cruise. 10 out of 10 cruise.
yeah, I guess I'll say 9. Yeah.
Wow. That's high praise.
Mhm.
You like the Disney Wish. I'm so
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah, yeah, I really loved it. There's a few things I would change. They might get that feedback and change it.
How was shopping?
Shopping was good. They have they have a lot of like jewelry and upscale. Like you could buy a Gucci bag, which not for me on a Disney cruise. But then they've got Mickey's Main Sale, which is like a themed gift shop.
Cute.
Very cute.
Love it.
That's where we shopped.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was really cute. It's got a little bit of everything.
Did
Just
you pick up any treasures?
yeah, I got a magnet.
Classic. Gotta have a
Um,
magnet.
we got the statue, like a small version of the statue that they have in the what I'm still calling the atrium, but it's not called the atrium on the Wish. It's called the Grand Hall. But
Sure.
we have gotten one of these bronze statues from almost all of the boats that we've been on. The first boat we went on was the Disney Magic, and we bought a little replica of the ship.
I've
Um,
seen, yeah.
and I thought we would buy one of those from each of the boats, but then none of the other boats we went on had them. So then we were like, okay, let's switch to these gold or bronze statues, and then we'll just go back on the Magic at some point
Yeah.
because we loved it. We loved the Magic, even though it's their
Nice.
oldest boat.
Oldie but a goodie. If it ain't broke.
Yeah, they do such a good job with renovations. You'd never know.
Yeah.
Like when I hear about other cruise lines that aren't Disney, and you hear about their older boats, when people are reviewing it, they're like, "Oh, it's really showing its age.
Oh
They
no.
renovated some of it, but not enough of it."
Oh
But I feel
gosh.
like they, with the Magic, they must have like renovated everything because I would not have known it was built in 1995.
Yeah, with the by all accounts, including yours, the impressive standard of like guest experience quality for
Mm,
Disney Cruise Line, I see how that translates into like full scale renovation
right.
to freshen it up, make it lively. I feel like the Disney Cruise Line motto is like, we will be the best cruise
Yeah.
at the time that you are cruising. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I love that. I wish everything could be renovated so efficiently. Cruise line is making them a ton of money, so God bless.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
works out
They're-
for the guests
I
if you can afford it.
yeah, they're at like 98% capacity most of the time.
Yeah, that's really really good.
Really good. Yeah, good for them. I mean, yeah.
Well, obviously the experience backs up the popularity.
Yeah, it's a little bit more expensive than other cruise lines, and I think that it's worth it.
Well, there you go. What a
Yeah.
pleasant note to take us out on, Morgan. If they want to hear more of our journeys, not just aboard Disney Cruise Lines, but all around the parks, where can they find us?
Oh, you can find us all over the place. Our website is neverlandnavigation.co, which has links to everything.
Click them.
Yeah. Our Instagram is Neverland Navco.
Right? If you'd like to see the visual version of the podcast, you can hang out with us on the YouTube channel, Neverland Navigation Co., and see our smiling faces talking about the cruise line. Also, hear me coughing for about 5 minutes at the beginning of this episode. Good times. And then, if you would like to subscribe to the podcast on whatever audio platform you're listening on and leave us a review, then that would be amazing if you've enjoyed the show so
Yeah.
far.
I think that's it.
Does that cover everything?
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Well then, until our next sailing, we'll see you
On our next adventure.
Goodbye.